Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is BazzbeTV. I'm going to be talking about Star Wars because, the Rise of Skywalker is coming out in like 2 days, 3 days. I don't like Star Wars. And I know that's going to like upset a lot of people, but a lot of people are going to be understanding of this whenever I get done talking about this, but that's what the case is. I can't stand the fucking franchise. It was never always like that though, and we're going to get into that. Growing up, that's what my dad made me watch, was Star Wars, because my dad is like the biggest Star Wars geek in the world. He'd seen all the movies, obviously. He's old enough to have been to every premiere. He grew up with the original trilogy, the one before Lucas re-edited everything. So, where Greedo shot first and all that shit. So I grew up watching those original movies, and then I saw some of the ones that he tweaked and edited, and yeah, it's a little obnoxious, and yeah, it's stupid, but it didn't bother me because he's the creator. He's the one that came up with the franchise. It's his property. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to add some extra shit that technology didn't allow back in the 70s, oh well, let him just do it, man. Like, shit, it's not going to change the movie. Nobody's going to care. I think the only change he ever did that really bothered me personally was where he made Vader scream, "No, no," like in the end of Return of the Jedi. So I grew up with these movies. I love these movies. I saw The Phantom Menace in theaters in like 1999 when I was a little kid, and I love that movie as well. And a lot of people always said the prequel sucked. I never saw it that way. I never seen the prequel being bad because yeah, it's kind of different from Star Wars, but not everything has to be the same thing. If like you go out to dinner 6 fucking times and you get the same high paid dinner, say you go out there and you go to a fancy world star restaurant where you have Gordon Ramsay or Wolfgang Puck making your dinner and you order chicken nuggets, it's the same thing for 6 times. You're just gonna be like, why? Everybody else is gonna be like, why? So I'm glad that the prequels were a little bit different. I never actually really had a problem with it. I will say that Attack of the Clones was hot garbage. It was a very bad movie. I don't understand why he did some of the things he did in that movie, but it was his movies, so I never made fun of him for the prequels because of that. I think the only thing I ever was kind of confused about was how like Anakin can kill Tusken Raiders and kill the women and children, and Padme's not immediately red flagged about it, and she's just kind of like, and then he kills some younglings, and she's just like, "How could you do this, Anakin?" I'm like, "Why? Because they're white? Is that what it was? Because they're little white kids?" Anyway, that's just a joke. So I never had an issue with the prequels as well, and some of the changes Lucas did. And I guess at some point he got himself in a hole financially, or whatever the reason was. I don't know and don't care. He sold it to Disney, and I remember I was never okay with that because I did not like the fact that Disney was going to be like owning it, because I knew that they were going to start pumping out more Star Wars movies, and we didn't need that. We already had the 6 movies that led up with Palpatine. Palpatine's dead. We don't need anything else after that. And then they they got rid of the extended universe, so that pissed off quite a fucking bit of people. All that shit was just gone. And they were like, we're gonna make our own universe. So that's what they did. And honestly, when Star Wars A New Hope Episode 2 came out, back in 2015. Yeah, I know what it's called, but it's a joke, come on. I saw the movie on opening night because I was dating somebody who wanted to go see it, and my immediate thought was, this is A New Hope. And everybody's like, oh, the movie was so good. I'm like, no, it was literally A New Hope. They literally shot it, like, shot by shot, stole all the elements from that movie. Like, it was like a cover to a band. Like, yeah, I guess it was good, but I mean, it wasn't the band. It wasn't, who cares? So I didn't enjoy the movie because of that. I thought Kylo Ren was kind of dumb in that movie, I guess. Like, he didn't know how to fight. He didn't know how to do anything. He was strong in the Force, I guess. Like in that first opening shot with him when he stopped the laser bolt with his hand. I liked that. That was cool. But other than that, the movie was fucking dumb. Like, whoever the hell thought of Poe being a good character, like, just delete yourself off the world, please. that he's the worst character in the series. Like everybody said Rose was from The Last Jedi, and I had to argue with that. I think Poe is the absolute worst character. He's annoying as fuck, man. So that movie wasn't good, man. I never actually liked it. I can't even think of the name of the movie because it just doesn't matter to me at all. I keep thinking of New Hope too, but the movie wasn't anything because you just got like Mary Sue Ray, which I know a lot of people say that Mark Hamill's character Luke Skywalker was a Mary Sue as well. He just started off being good at everything, and I have to disagree with you on that. He wasn't. He was good at flying spaceships. That's pretty much it. That's it. He didn't know how to fight with the lightsaber properly. He doesn't actually do anything proper with the lightsaber until like the third movie, so he has to train with the Force. You actually see him doing that. Rey picks up a lightsaber for 30 seconds and she's able to just like demolish fucking Kylo Ren, who was like, oh, I've been training for years with the Force and blah blah blah. And then, you know, then you have what's his name, Finn, the black stormtrooper. Like, I understand that they're trying to like put diversity in there, but weren't the stormtroopers clones? Like, inconsistent? Or are you just being like trying to be politically correct? I mean, I don't give a shit if there's a black character in Star Wars. We already have Lando Griffin. We already had Lando, so I mean, it's not like it pisses me off. It's just like he shouldn't have been a stormtrooper. He could have been anybody else but a stormtrooper. It's just stupid. It's just so stupid. And then we get to The Last Jedi. And I remember I went with my old roommate and I told him I'm going to stare at him every time something stupid happens on the movie. And I spent a good 60% of the movie just doing... That's not good. That was not a good way to like present the movie to like an audience. You had a chance to kill off Leia because, you know, Carrie Fisher died. And I think they should have just let her die in that moment because it would have been a good, like, character development for Kylo Ren where he was thinking about shooting his mom but doesn't, and somebody else just fucking does it. Like, that would have been a good way for her to go out. But no, she just, like, fucking Superman, Mary Poppins her way back inside the ship because apparently she has force powers. Which I know she had, like, a bit of force powers in, like, Return of the Jedi, but... I didn't know she could, like, fucking survive the deep vacuum of space. You know, that makes all the goddamn sense in the world. But, you know, it's Rian Johnson. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna make a filler episode of the Star Wars. I never watched any of the movies. But I can't even shit on this movie enough because, like, everybody has already done it already. It's already stale at this point because we've already had, like, another Star Wars movie come out since then. Solo was a very, very stupid movie. I only saw that movie because I heard Darth Maul was in it, and he's from the prequels. So I was like, okay. So I went and seen it. He shows up for like 30 seconds at the end of the movie, does his little thing where he has to pull the lightsaber out just to show you, hey, I still got this. And I really wanted my money back. Rogue One, everybody praised it for being such a good movie. It wasn't. It was just dark and gritty. That doesn't mean... you know, it's a good movie, like, by any means. I did not enjoy that movie whatsoever. Nobody can say that they enjoyed that movie, because I can guarantee you, if you say, oh, I loved Rogue One, you can't name 3 characters from that movie. You'll say Jin. But that's the only one. You won't know any other character. Like, I did this with my girlfriend, because she was talking about, like, how she hates all the Star Wars movies, because, you know, it's just not for her. And we were talking about Rogue One, and she said that they're all the same. I was like, okay, can you name 5 characters from Rogue One? And she said, Jin? And then I was like, who else? And she couldn't name any. I was like, okay, so if they're all just as bad as one another, can you name 5 characters from The Phantom Menace? And she named 15. 15 fucking characters, and she's only seen that movie like 2 times. And we've seen Rogue One 2 times. It just goes to my point. Like, the movie had nothing worth remembering. It was just stupid. The only reason anybody... I'm convinced of this. The only reason anybody liked that movie at all was the last moment with Darth Vader. Like, come on. That was the only good fucking scene in the entire movie. And I didn't even realize it, because, like, when I was watching this movie, I guess I didn't pay attention or something, but I was like, These guys are all gonna die, aren't they? And they all fucking died like filler characters. Because they were all filler characters. And then the fucking Death Star was like inconsistent with what it could do. It's like I either destroy a planet or I nuke it very slowly. And then it's like immediately 5 minutes after the movie, oh yeah, the Death Star could blow up a planet in one shot. You know, something that didn't happen in this movie because the characters had to have time to like hug each other and say goodbye or escape or whatever stupid shit. The movie was bad. I think all the Disney movies so far have been bad, all four of them, and a big reason with that is because they're like, we need to pump out a new Star Wars movie every single year. That's not what we want. Like, people are gonna get fatigued off of it, man. Like, you know what made the other movies so good is because they had like a 3-year space in between, so you're just like, ooh, can't wait. People got fatigued on Harry Potter, and that's for a different story of why I don't like Harry Potter. Now, I already know what's going to happen in The Rise of Skywalker because I had some spoilers now. I live in LA, I know people. I've already had some spoilers tossed out on me, so I'm going to be like, oh, okay then. I kind of had a feeling. So, we'll talk about that after the movie comes out, so I don't really, like, spoil anything. And I also need to find out, like, some of these are accurate because I already had this done for me for, like, the last 3 big blockbuster movies we've had. Well, not the last 3. I had it for Endgame. Somebody had told me what was going to happen before the movies were released. And I was like, oh shit. Aquaman, somebody had told that to me as well. And the movie Us by Jordan Peele, somebody told me about that one too. And I was just like, okay. So, thank you guys for watching. Sorry if this offends anybody because I hate Star Wars or whatever. I don't really care. Get over it. Franchise is shit. It's all filler. None of it matters. If George Lucas himself didn't make it, even though he doesn't own it anymore, but if he didn't come up with it himself, it's filler. It's filler. You can fight with me on that if you want, but it's the goddamn truth, because it'd be like another Harry Potter book was written by Stephanie Meyer, the one who did Twilight. Nobody would consider it canon because it wasn't done by J.K. Rowling, right? Same concept. Doesn't matter. Alright. I'm probably going to go back to sleep. Bye, YouTube.